Inbox zero is not about organizing your email, it's about processing it. Your inbox is not a storage space, it is not a filing cabinet, it is not a place for your to-do list, it is a processing station. Which means nothing should live in your inbox. And the wild part is that inbox zero is literally just pressing one button. It's that easy. So I hope this will make a lot of people really happy, because what I notice is that a lot of people over-organize the inbox. They create a lot of folders, they use a lot of labels, they use all these color coding systems, and that is all really not necessary. You don't need complex systems, and especially you do not need to hire someone to organize your email for you. That is like so crazy to me. You really do not have to have this perfect organization system in your inbox. What we need usually is a little bit of a better decision-making system. And I do want to point out, like always, if you have some kind of very complex system that works for you, amazing. I'm happy for you, but most people really do not need it. And if you feel like your system is maybe a little bit overcomplicated and you would like to save some time on organization and just being in your mailbox all the time, keep watching. So, inbox zero in literally just 3 steps. Step 1, the A for archive. We're going to just archive everything. We're not going to sort the emails. We're not going to label them. We're not going to put them in special folders. Whatever is in the inbox, we're just going to press archive. Archive doesn't mean delete. It will go away from the inbox, but it will go into this like where all the emails live kind of mail folder thing. You can just locate it somewhere in your email, but I promise if you press archive, it does not mean delete. The email just goes somewhere out into another folder. It's basically out of sight, out of mind method, and we're not deleting anything. It is literally archiving it, okay? So you're safe. And you can do this right now. Doesn't matter what the number is, doesn't matter when the latest email came in. You can just select all and press archive. And congratulations, you now have inbox zero. And before you start panicking and thinking, well, but what if I'm missing a lot of important emails now, Katie? Or like, Katie told me to do it. And now I didn't reply to this very important email. We will get to that in a moment. But first, step number 2, we're going to reduce the new incoming emails. So there are 2 kinds of emails that I think we can very easily reduce in their amount. Number 1 is newsletter subscriptions. These days, basically whenever you kind of like interact with someone on the internet, you're automatically on their email list. And the next day you just have like 5 new emails from them and it just keeps coming. And at one point you're like, what's going on? So very simple new habit. Again, it can be done in like 10 seconds, 2 seconds even if you're like really good at this. Whenever you subscribe somewhere, whenever you have contact with someone and you get that first email in the inbox and you know that you're not interested in more emails from them, or you know that you kind of already got what you needed, you're just going to press unsubscribe right away. Again, takes 10 seconds max to maybe just find unsubscribe because sometimes they hide it. So do not have too many emails coming in that are like kind of just there because you accidentally signed up for something. And also be honest with yourself how many emails you can possibly read. Because I feel like sometimes we sign up for something because it's like our scroll mind going, well, I need that information for later, or oh, that's interesting, I should also have that in my inbox, where I know most people follow this email list, so I also want to seem really smart and follow this. But then you never open those emails and never read them. So be realistic. What are you interested in right now? What do you want to read about right now? And I feel like we sometimes have this feeling that when you unsubscribe, it's like you're blacklisted, you're like not welcome here ever again. But that is not true, you can just unsubscribe and like a week later go, well, I kind of miss you, or I actually enjoyed your emails. Or maybe you enter a different life phase where you're like, okay, now I actually want to read about that stuff, and you can just resubscribe. So it's not the end of the world to like unsubscribe. And the second category is repetitive admin. These can be simple as notifications coming in from different apps. And I always feel like if the app already has notifications, I do not need an extra notification in my email. That's simple. So if there's a way to like turn off those emails, just turn them off as soon as possible. But also think about if you work with clients and you email with them, see what kind of questions they ask through the mail. And is there a way to, I don't know, create an extra page on your website to create some kind of like automatic something that they can use instead of emailing you? So as soon as you have done something like 2 or 3 times, find a way to make sure that that stuff is not coming to your inbox again, but can go some other way. A very simple example is having a booking system so that there is no email of, hey, can you do next Tuesday? No. Can you do Friday? No. Can you do this? You can save like so many emails if you just have a booking system. And here, really try to embrace a mindset of, okay, do I want to like live in this mailbox and answer emails all the time? Is that the job that I want for myself? Or are there maybe more important parts in my life that I want to explore? And then that will help you to like be more like sharp about, okay, I got like the 3rd email about this topic. How can I make sure that it's not coming to my inbox again? So reduce will help us keep inbox 0 at 0 so that you don't wake up to like 150 emails in the morning. This is how you will be able to keep up with the system. And then part 3, act. So if you have been following along, you should have 0 emails in your inbox right now. You might have gotten a few emails coming in, which you might have deleted already or unsubscribed, archived, whatever. But how are we going to like actually handle incoming email from now on? So first of all, what really helps, and you might have heard this before, and I'm going to say it again, and at one point, hopefully, you will also switch over to this new system. But I know for myself, it took me like a few years, I think even, to really like go, okay, yeah, it actually works better. But have set times during the day or even just during the week. Like, I don't know, check it twice a week if that's like an option for you. When you check your inbox, because what a lot of us do is we're constantly there. And this is again like this dopamine hit for us where we go, ooh, you know, like new email, look, oh, something's happening. Except that the inbox is a very scary place for our nervous system because every incoming email can be something good, something interesting, but it can also be something bad, something very scary, something that you like have to act on, and you just don't really know until you open the email. So to kind of like help the nervous system with like all of these whatever is coming at us, it helps to actually just have set times for it. Because it's not like all the day that you open it and it's like, oh, there's something. It's more like, you know, this is the time we're going to work on it and it's okay. What I also like to do is give myself just a slightly smaller time frame that I might need to process my email, because that makes you a lot more efficient and a little bit more ruthless about like these not so important emails. So when we get an email, there are a few options. If it is a newsletter, ask yourself, do I want it or not? And then we can, you know, archive or unsubscribe. If it is a repetitive admin thing, of course, answer the email because now it's here, so now you have to do something about it. But see if there's something that can make the process smoother so that things are not coming as repetitive admin into your inbox again. And I know most emails we will archive, but sometimes it's also an option to just delete something. It's like, read it, acknowledge that this was kind of important, delete. That is also an option. And now, let's talk about the elephant in the room where you go, well, but what about all those unanswered emails now that I should have done something about and you made me archive? So with incoming email that require a reply and maybe some kind of to do before you can reply, like, I don't know, maybe a client needs something and you actually have to do something first. I want you to realize that the inbox is for processing. It is not your to-do list. So whatever the task is going to go in your to-do list. You can make a reference to the email so you know what's going on or where it's coming from. But then we will archive the email. It will not live in the inbox. The to-do is going on your to-do list and the email is going to the archive. And that should be pretty much all the email that can come your way. And now you have a way to process them and then to make sure that the amount is not like kind of exploding so that you can keep inbox 0. However, I know from experience that at certain times the system will break. And if you're like, what? I just made it all happen and you're telling me it's going to break? Not like that. So what often happens with people is that there is one email that comes in that requires, I don't know, it's like a huge project email, or it's a kind of an emotional something that you have to reply to. And those things tend to kind of stick around. And they can like start to pile up in the inbox. So instead of 0, we have now 1. And then something else comes in and we're like, well, now I don't want to like, leave that like emotional email alone. So I will leave this other one here as well. And then comes another one, and then comes another one. And maybe now there are like 2 more things or 2 more projects in your inbox. And you're like, well, it's not that big of a deal if I leave 2 projects here. Because, I don't really want to forget about them. And then, but you see what's happening? Like, inbox 0 is not breaking down because the system is not working. Inbox 0 is breaking down because we now have some kind of a friction happening in the inbox that we don't really know what to do with. So when clutter starts to build up in the inbox, it's usually not like actual like system failure. It's really more like there's like this emotional clutter happening that we don't really know how to process in the moment. So, very simple system. What to do when you notice that inbox 0 is starting to slowly fail you. Step 1. Find the friction email. Find the thing that is causing the block. Step 2. Acknowledge that you're human and it's totally okay to feel this way and that you're not a failure. Again, this is totally normal and you got this. And like kind of calm your nervous system, like, this is not the end of the world. We can answer this email. We got this. Step 3. Block maybe 10 to 15 minutes. Again, because if you give yourself a lot of time, you will use a lot of time for like being nervous. So 15 minutes to figure out a next step with this email. And we're not going to put it on the to-do list anymore because it's been too long probably. So just draft a reply or draft like a first response. And again, if it's a huge project and you haven't replied yet, you might just say something like, I will get this to you next week. Sorry for the late reply or something along those lines. But this email obviously requires some kind of reply. So just make an imperfect draft and press send. Again, 15 minutes, not like 3 hours or whatever. Small time frame, reply. And most things, and that's like the funny thing, because you might think, oh, but I need a lot of time. Let's be realistic. When you let a message sit around for a long time, is it that it usually takes like 2 hours to reply? Or are those the emails where you take like 5 minutes and you're like, oh, that wasn't too bad?